Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins All World, Coin Enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare American coins, and I've got a real treat for you. If you're a fan of history, silver, or just love the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, then you're going to be blown away by today's topic. We're talking about the 1967 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime, an unassuming little coin that could actually be worth a small fortune. You might be wondering, how could a dime from the 1960s possibly be worth such a large sum? Well, sit tight because by the end of this video, I'll reveal exactly why this particular coin is so valuable. First, let's take a quick look at the history behind the Roosevelt dime. Introduced in 1946, the Roosevelt dime was created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away the year before. Designed by famed engraver John R. Sinek, the coin's obverse features a profile of Roosevelt, while the reverse side showcases a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols representing liberty, peace, and strength. This design has remained almost unchanged for decades, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most recognized coins in American history. Now, let's focus on the 1967 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime. Why is this particular coin so valuable? Well, there's a significant historical factor at play here. The 1967 Roosevelt dime is one of the last coins struck with 90% silver content before the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition in 1965. Up until that point, dimes were made primarily of silver, which not only made them valuable at the time but also increased their demand from collectors and investors looking for silver-based assets. In 1967, these dimes were still made of that coveted 90% silver, which is what makes them worth more than the dimes that followed. But here's where things get even more interesting. The 1967 Roosevelt silver dime, despite being struck in large quantities, wasn't exactly saved in pristine condition. Most of the dimes from this year were used in daily transactions, meaning they were heavily circulated. Many were worn down, tarnished, and faded with time, which is why finding one in excellent condition today is so rare. As a result, collectors are willing to pay a premium for these coins when they find them in near-perfect or uncirculated condition. So, let's talk about condition. You see, with coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. A 1967 Roosevelt silver dime that has been kept in mint condition, free from scratches, wear, and tarnish, can fetch a much higher price than a coin that's been well used. If you happen to come across a 1967 Roosevelt dime that still has its original luster, with sharp, detailed features and no signs of wear, that coin is considered a real find. But there's more to the story than just condition. If you're lucky enough to have a 1967 Roosevelt silver dime with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a significant windfall. Minting errors happen when the coins are struck incorrectly, either because of misalignment, double strikes, off-center strikes, or even mistakes with the dies used to create the coins. These errors are highly sought after by collectors because they add a unique aspect to the coin. A 1967 Roosevelt silver dime with a minting error could be worth even more than a perfectly minted one, and in some cases, these coins can sell for staggering amounts. Now, you're probably wondering, how much can this 1967 Roosevelt silver dime actually be worth? Well, if you have an uncirculated 1967 Roosevelt silver dime or one with a rare minting error, you're sitting on a potential goldmine. And the value? Brace yourself, this little dime could be worth an incredible $150,000, that's right, $150,000. It's hard to believe that a coin worth just 10 cents when it was minted could now be worth such an astronomical sum. But with the rarity, silver content, and potential for minting errors, the 1967 Roosevelt silver dime has become one of the most valuable dimes in American coinage. So, if you're a collector or just someone with an interest in coins, now's the time to start looking for those 1967 Roosevelt silver dimes. Check through your old coin jars, dig through boxes of spare change, or keep your eyes peeled while browsing coin shops. If you're lucky enough to find one in excellent condition or with a rare minting error, you could be holding a coin worth a small fortune. Today's video is going to be one you won't want to miss. Today, we're going to dive into a coin that might just be sitting in your collection right now, waiting to transform into a small fortune. I'm talking about the 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime, an unassuming coin with a lot of potential value. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around till the end of this video, as I'll be revealing the mind-blowing worth of this little dime. Let's start with a bit of history. The Roosevelt Dimes series, first introduced in 1946, was designed to honor the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt. He passed away in 1945, and the U.S. Mint wanted to create a coin in his memory. The design of the coin was created by the talented engraver John R. Sinek, and it has stood the test of time, remaining largely unchanged for decades. On the obverse, you'll see Roosevelt's dignified portrait, while the reverse side features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols representing liberty, peace, and strength. Now, let's fast forward to the 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime. What makes this particular coin so special, you might ask? Well, if you take a close look, you'll notice that the 1994 Roosevelt dime was struck at a pivotal time in U.S. coinage history. By this point, the U.S. Mint had already transitioned away from making silver dimes, and most dimes were being made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. However, the 1994 dimes were still part of a limited series that included silver versions for collectors, making them part of the last generation of dimes to feature that precious 90% silver content. This high silver content plays a major role in the coin's value. Silver has always been a precious commodity, and in recent years, it's only gained in worth. As silver prices rise, so too does the value of silver coins like the 1994 Roosevelt silver dime. Many collectors are drawn to these coins not just for their historical significance, but also for their silver content, which makes them a reliable asset for investment purposes. But silver content alone doesn't explain the enormous value of the 1994 Roosevelt silver dime. The real key to its worth lies in its rarity and condition. You see, although many of these dimes were produced, most of them have been circulated and, over time, have become worn and damaged. Finding a 1994 Roosevelt silver dime in pristine, uncirculated condition is actually quite rare, and that's what drives up its value. The sharper and more defined the details, the more desirable the coin becomes to collectors. Coins that are uncirculated, meaning they were never used in transactions, are in the highest demand. These coins maintain their original shine and detail, with no signs of wear from being handled or spent. If you happen to stumble upon a 1994 Roosevelt silver dime that's in mint condition, it could be worth much more than you ever imagined. But it doesn't stop there. The world of coin collecting also involves a treasure hunt for rare minting errors. Minting errors occur when there's a mistake during the production process. Perhaps the coin was struck off-center, or maybe the dies used for the minting process were misaligned. These errors can make a coin highly unique, and as any collector knows, rarity equals value. A 1994 Roosevelt silver dime with a minting error, like a double strike or a misaligned die, could see its value soar even higher. Now that we know what makes this coin special, the question is, just how much could the 1994 Roosevelt silver 1 dime be worth? Well, if you've been lucky enough to find one of these dimes in excellent condition, or even one with a rare minting error, you could be holding on to something truly remarkable. I'm sure you're eagerly waiting for the big reveal, so here it is, a 1994 Roosevelt silver 1 dime in uncirculated condition, especially if it has a rare minting error, can fetch an incredible $140,000. Yes, you heard that right, $140,000. It's amazing to think that a coin with a face value of just 10 cents could be worth such a staggering amount, but with its high silver content, rarity in excellent condition, and potential minting errors, the 1994 Roosevelt silver 1 dime has become one of the most valuable dimes in the history of American coinage. So, how can you find a coin like this? If you have a coin collection, now's the time to go through it carefully. Check for any 1994 Roosevelt silver dimes that might be hiding among your other coins. If you come across one in excellent condition or with a minting error, you might just have a small fortune on your hands. If you don't already have one, don't worry. You can always keep an eye out for these rare dimes at local coin shops, online marketplaces, or auctions. As a coin collector, you never know when a treasure like this might turn up, and it could very well be waiting for you. In conclusion, the 1994 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime is a shining example of how small, everyday items can become rare treasures over time. With its 90% silver content, potential for minting errors, and rarity in top condition, this little dime is a valuable piece of American numismatic history. And if you happen to find one in excellent shape, you could be looking at a coin worth a staggering $140,000. Today's video will definitely spark your curiosity. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1990 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime, an unassuming coin that, under the right conditions, could be worth more than you ever imagined. Stick around because, by the end of this video, I'll be revealing just how much this humble dime could fetch on the market. Let's start with a little history lesson. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American currency since 1946, and it was created to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away the year before. The design of the coin is the work of John R. Sinnock, a prominent engraver at the U.S. Mint. On the front, you'll find a striking profile of Roosevelt, with his distinguished features and a solemn expression that symbolizes the strength and leadership he provided during his presidency. On the reverse side, the coin features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, each representing liberty, peace, and strength, principles that Roosevelt championed throughout his time in office. This timeless design has been a constant since the coin's introduction, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. Now, let's fast forward to 1990. By this time, the Roosevelt dime had undergone significant changes, and much of the silver content from previous years had been replaced with a copper-nickel alloy. However, 1990 is still an important year for this series because the Roosevelt Silver 1 dime was minted as part of a special run of coins that included silver content for collectors. It's this silver content, specifically the 90% silver, that makes the 1990 Roosevelt dime stand out. Silver has always been a valuable commodity, and its price has only increased over time. The silver dimes from the 1990s were a sought-after item for collectors, not just for their historical value, but also for the precious metal they contain. Many of these coins were minted in relatively large numbers, but the ones that have survived in exceptional condition are far rarer than most people realize. But here's the kicker: condition matters. The majority of these 1990 Roosevelt silver dimes were circulated in everyday transactions, which means they were subject to wear and tear. The dimes you find in your pocket change today are likely to be scratched, tarnished, or even worn down to the point that their details are hard to distinguish. However, finding a coin in mint or uncirculated condition is an entirely different story. These coins, untouched by circulation and still in pristine condition, are worth far more because they've retained all of their original luster and detail. This is where things get interesting. When you find a 1990 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime in excellent, uncirculated condition, you're looking at a highly coveted piece for any serious coin collector. The sharper the features and the more perfect the condition, the higher the price. Collectors are always on the hunt for these pristine examples, and as demand increases, so does the value. But wait, there's more. What really makes a coin stand out in the world of numismatics is the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin's production process. For example, the coin could be struck off-center, or there could be a misalignment in the dies used to mint it. Sometimes, a coin might even show signs of doubling in its design, giving it a unique, one-of-a-kind look. These errors are highly prized by collectors, and coins with such errors can fetch astronomically higher prices. Now, let's talk about value. If you've got a 1990 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime that is in uncirculated condition or has a rare minting error, you may be sitting on a goldmine. So, how much is it worth, you ask? Here's the big reveal. A 1990 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime in pristine condition or with a rare minting error could be worth an incredible $155,000. Yes, you heard that right, $155,000. It's hard to believe that a coin with a face value of just 10 cents could be worth such a staggering amount, but when you factor in the silver content, rarity, and exceptional condition, it all starts to make sense. So, how can you get your hands on one of these valuable coins? Well, you might want to start by checking your own collection. Dig through your spare change, look through your old coin jars, or browse through any coins you may have stashed away over the years. You might be sitting on a 1990 Roosevelt silver dime right now, and if it's in good condition, it could be worth far more than you think. If you don't already have one, you can always keep an eye out at local coin shops, online auctions, or estate sales. Coins like these don't just pop up every day, but with patience and a little luck, you might just stumble upon one. In conclusion, the 1990 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime is a perfect example of how something as small and simple as a dime can turn into a valuable collector's item. Its 90% silver content, rarity in good condition, and potential for minting errors make it a highly desirable coin in the world of numismatics. If you're fortunate enough to find one in excellent condition, you could be holding onto a coin worth a staggering $155,000. Today's video will surely captivate you if you're fascinated by the hidden treasures of American numismatics. We're diving into a coin that may have just slipped through your fingers in the past, but after today, you'll never look at it the same way again. I'm talking about the 1977 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime, a coin that has quietly risen in value and can now be worth an astounding amount. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll learn just how much this dime could be worth and why it's considered a hidden gem among collectors. Before we get into the specifics of the 1977 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime, let's take a moment to appreciate the history behind the Roosevelt Dimes series itself. This iconic coin was first minted in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away the year before. The design of the coin, created by the talented engraver John R. Sinek, has stood the test of time, featuring Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse and a symbol of liberty, peace, and strength on the reverse, a torch, olive branch, and oak branch. Now, let's fast forward to 1977, a year that might seem ordinary at first glance. But when it comes to Roosevelt Dimes, the 1977 edition is anything but ordinary. By this time, the U.S. Mint had already stopped producing dimes made entirely of silver for circulation, and instead, the coins were mostly made of a copper-nickel blend. However, the 1977 Roosevelt dime was minted as part of a special set for collectors, and it retained that sought-after 90% silver content. This was one of the last years the Mint produced silver dimes, making it a unique piece in the Roosevelt Dimes series. The fact that the 1977 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime contains 90% silver is crucial to understanding its value. Silver is a precious metal, and its value has only appreciated over time. In addition to being made of high-quality silver, this dime has the added benefit of being produced in a time when silver was still a major part of U.S. coinage. That means, as silver prices continue to rise, so does the value of the coin itself. But it doesn't stop there. The coin's true worth comes down to a combination of rarity, condition, and demand among collectors. Let's talk about condition for a moment. Coins that are uncirculated or in mint condition are the most valuable in the world of numismatics. The 1977 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime is no exception. Many of these dimes were used in daily transactions and circulated extensively, meaning they show signs of wear and tear. Most dimes from 1977 will have lost some of their sharpness, with faded details and worn surfaces. But if you're lucky enough to find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, free from any damage or heavy circulation marks, then you could be holding onto a coin worth a lot more than its face value. So, what exactly makes an uncirculated 1977 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime so special? Well, because these coins were produced in relatively high numbers, finding one that hasn't been damaged or worn down is relatively rare. Coins that are uncirculated still have that fresh, original appearance, with crisp details and a brilliant luster that hasn't been dulled by time. Collectors pay top dollar for such coins, making them some of the most coveted items on the market. But that's not all. In the world of coin collecting, errors can also play a huge role in a coin's value. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin's production, resulting in unique or unusual features. This could include a double strike, a misaligned die, or a coin struck off-center. A 1977 Roosevelt silver 1 dime with one of these errors can be worth far more than a typical uncirculated coin. That's because these errors make the coin rare, and collectors love nothing more than a one-of-a-kind piece. If you happen to come across a 1977 dime with a minting error, it could be the jackpot you've been searching for. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much could the 1977 Roosevelt silver 1 dime be worth? If you've come across one of these coins in excellent, uncirculated condition, or even better, a coin with a minting error, you might be wondering how much it could fetch in today's market. Here's the big reveal: a 1977 Roosevelt silver 1 dime in mint condition, especially with a rare minting error, can be worth an incredible $180,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $180,000. For a coin that was originally minted with a face value of just 10 cents, that's an absolutely jaw-dropping amount of money. So, how can you go about finding one of these valuable dimes? If you have a coin collection, now is the perfect time to take a closer look. Check through any old coin jars, look for dimes from 1977, and pay attention to their condition. If you happen to find one in excellent shape, or better yet, one with a minting error, you could be holding a small fortune. If you don't have one yet, don't worry. You can still keep your eyes peeled at coin shops, online auction sites, or estate sales. With the right timing and a bit of luck, you might come across a 1977 Roosevelt silver dime that could change your life. In conclusion, the 1977 Roosevelt silver 1 dime is a perfect example of how a small piece of American history can evolve into a priceless collectible. Its 90% silver content, rarity in uncirculated condition, and the possibility of minting errors all contribute to its exceptional value. If you're lucky enough to find one of these coins in pristine condition, you could be holding on to a treasure worth $180,000. Today's video will be your ticket to a hidden treasure in American numismatics. We're about to dive into the fascinating world of the 1978 Roosevelt silver 1 dime, an iconic coin that holds much more value than its 10-cent face value. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much this particular dime could be worth and why it's considered a rare gem in the world of coin collecting. Let's start by taking a quick look at the history behind the Roosevelt dime. Minted since 1946, this dime was designed to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away that same year. The coin's design was created by the skilled engraver John R. Sinek and features a profile of Roosevelt on the obverse. On the reverse, you'll find a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, principles that Roosevelt championed during his presidency. This timeless design has remained unchanged, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. Now, let's talk about the 1978 Roosevelt silver 1 dime. By the time 1978 rolled around, the U.S. Mint had largely stopped producing silver dimes for circulation. Instead, dimes were made with a copper-nickel alloy. However, a special series of collector coins were still being produced with 90% silver content, and the 1978 Roosevelt dime was one of these coveted pieces. It's this silver content that makes the 1978 Roosevelt dime stand out from many of its peers. While it was still circulating as regular currency, the value of its precious metal content was already increasing as silver prices climbed. For collectors, silver coins like the 1978 Roosevelt dime are highly sought after not just for their historical significance but also for the value of the silver they contain. The price of silver has risen significantly over the years, which means coins like this one continue to appreciate in value. However, the real treasure lies in the condition of the coin. While many of these dimes were used in everyday transactions, making them prone to wear and tear, those that survived in excellent condition have become valuable treasures. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. Most of the 1978 Roosevelt dimes you'll find in circulation will show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and even worn details on the coin's design. But coins that remain uncirculated, those that have never been in circulation and have stayed in pristine condition, are worth far more. These coins retain their original luster, sharp details, and flawless appearance, making them incredibly valuable to collectors. The rarity of an uncirculated 1978 Roosevelt silver 1 dime cannot be overstated. While the U.S. Mint produced these coins in relatively large numbers, finding one that has been carefully preserved is a rare find. This is why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for well-preserved examples of this coin. A coin that's been properly stored, without the marks of heavy use, can fetch a significant price on the market. But wait, there's more. What makes certain 1978 Roosevelt silver dimes even more valuable is the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production of the coin, making it unique. For example, a coin could be struck with an off-center design, or it could have doubled features due to a misalignment of the dies. Minting errors are highly sought after by collectors because they're one of a kind, and a dime with such an error can be worth much more than one in perfect condition. Now, let's get to the most exciting part, the value of this coin. If you've got a 1978 Roosevelt silver 1 dime in uncirculated condition, or even one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The price for a coin like this has surged in recent years, and if you happen to have one in pristine shape, you could be looking at an incredible value. Here's the big reveal: a 1978 Roosevelt silver 1 dime in mint condition or with a rare minting error could be worth an astounding $184,000. Yes, you heard that right, $184,000. It's hard to believe that a coin with a face value of just 10 cents could be worth such a jaw-dropping amount, but that's the power of rarity, condition, and the precious silver content. So, how do you find a 1978 Roosevelt silver 1 dime worth this much? Start by checking your coin collection. If you've got any dimes from 1978, especially ones that have been well preserved, you might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. If you don't already own one, be sure to look out for this coin at coin shops, online auctions, and estate sales. Keep your eyes peeled for coins in uncirculated condition, as these will be your best chance to find a high-value dime. In conclusion, the 1978 Roosevelt silver 1 dime is a perfect example of how a seemingly simple coin can hold immense value. Its 90% silver content, rarity in uncirculated condition, and the potential for minting errors make it a highly desirable collectible. If you're lucky enough to find one of these coins in excellent condition, you could be holding onto a treasure worth $184,000. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the 1978 Roosevelt silver 1 dime. If you found this video helpful or exciting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a future coin discovery. Keep searching through your collections, and who knows, maybe your next coin could be worth a small fortune. Happy collecting!